What is love? And is it true the love between two people can exist for ages? Can love between two people be so strong that nothing can outdo it? The movie The Notebook from 2004 is based on a novel by the same name written by Nicholas Sparks. The movie tells the story of the two teenagers, Noah and Ellie, who lives in the South US in the beginning of the 1940s. Even though they come from two different social classes, they fall in love. Because of this, Ellie's wealthy family doesn't approve of the relationship. The love story of the two young people is told in prison by the old man, who is referred to as Duke. He reads the story aloud from his notebook for an old woman named Ellie. In the end, it is revealed that the story is really their story, their past, and how they met and how they fell in love.
The reason for Duke/Noah telling this story is because Ellie is suffering from Alzheimer's and therefore cannot remember who Noah is or their love story. Noah has committed himself to trying to get to remember every day. Two central themes in the movie are forbidden love and the question whether or not there can still be love between two people, if one of them does not remember. The genre of the film is romanticism, and therefore this essay will focus on the already mentioned themes, including an analysis on the characters, setting, and composition using Freytag's pyramid. Apart from this, we will also analyze a central scene from the movie using theories and concepts from John G. Kowalski, Alastair Fowler, and Rick Altman.
So the first thing that I would like to talk about is the setting. And the love story takes place in South Carolina, as mentioned before. Noah, or Duke, is 80 years old when the story opens and has been living in a nursing home for approximately 3 years. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the plot. And the notebook cuts between the same couple at two different periods in their lives. We see them as young people, and then we see them as old people. As young, they are very in love, and as old people, Ellie is disappearing into the shadows of Alzheimer's, and Noah is determined on making her remember him again. Every single day, Noah reads to Ellie from a notebook that tells the story of how they met and fell in love and faced obstacles on the way to their happiness. This leads me on to the last thing that I would like to talk about, which is the characters. And Ellie is a 7-year-old girl and only child of wealthy parents. Ellie and her family belongs to the upper class of the society, and she's well-mannered. She likes to paint and write poetry. On the outside, Ellie's life seems perfect, but her parents' strict rules make her very unhappy and make her longing for something else. As the daughter of wealthy parents, Ellie's primary responsibilities are to be well-behaved and well-educated. Every day she practices piano, studies French, and does all the activities her parents find pleasing. Her mother is even in charge of her love life. Noah is a 17-year-old boy. He doesn't have wealthy parents like Ellie, which complicates their relationship. Noah is very energetic and careless. He appreciates every moment and doesn't take life too seriously. These characteristics affect Ellie, and their love is therefore extremely strong. Unfortunately, the differences get too pronounced when the summer ends and they leave each other. The end of the relationship with Ellie changes Noah markedly. He becomes less energetic and more sad and depressed. Luckily, he changes when Ellie comes back into his life later on.
Moving on to a brief run-through of the composition. In relation to Freytag's pyramid, the notebook fits this model well. At the start, we have the exposition, where the two characters, Noah and Ellie, are presented. The exposition may differ from the normal structure because of Noah, who tells the story from his notebook. Nevertheless, it can be argued that this part serves the same function as the exposition because the viewer has a conception of how it went between them. This presentation also shows how things are before the story about their fragile relationship starts when they were strangers. Therefore, this part of the story can be characterized as the exposition. Afterwards, the story about them is told as if it happened in the present, but then there are disruptions in the story where we watch Ellie with Alzheimer's and Noah who's trying to make her remember. After the exposition, we have the inciting incident where several conflicts are presented. Firstly, Noah has to make an impression by taking Ellie to the movies and by making her let go of her control under the traffic light. Furthermore, there is a conflict between them and Ellie's parents, who don't want her to be with such a poor guy. At the family gathering, there is a clash between their overclass status and Noah's lower work status, which is the reason for the subsequent conflicts. Noah and Ellie end up being in an argument with each other. They split up and decide to follow their own path. Noah builds up the house that they always talked about to get Ellie's attention, and this leads to the climax where Ellie gradually drops her plans about marrying Lon Hammond. Ellie is reminded of her love towards Noah, and this is strictly in contrast to what her parents want her to do. Then there are the events after the climax where it cuts back to the old Noah and Ellie having their last moments together. At this point, the falling action and resolution to the conflict step in, where all threads are tied and Noah ends up overcoming all obstacles, which is essential in a romance story.
One of the theoreticians who has some comments, theories, and concepts regarding the romance genre is John G. Cawelty. He mentions 5 different genre formulas, including romance. He emphasizes that there must be a satisfying ending of the story, which matches the Notebook, since they, in the end, get each other and die together in peace, holding hands. Cawelty also finds love, relation, and monogamy as important subjects if the story must live up to the genre romance. Cawelty argues that the crucial defining characteristic of romance is its organizing action and the development of a love relationship, usually between a man and a woman. This is also the case in the Notebook. The development of the romance is the central line of the story. In the beginning, their love cannot exist due to their social differences, especially Allie's parents are against them being together, as mentioned earlier. It can be argued that it is an opposite Cinderella formula because it is the poor boy who falls in love with the rich girl, instead of the traditional poor girl falls in love with the rich boy. Another genre theoretician is Rick Altman. Rick Altman talks about semantic and sonatic elements. An example on a sonatic element connected to the romanticism could be the love that is prevented because of different issues, but eventually prevail. Specifically for the Notebook, it's the difference between social classes that makes it complicated. Nevertheless, the viewers have an expectation that the love interest will get a happy ending because of this genre expectations that is connected to romance. An example on a semantic element could be that the development of their love takes place in the summer, which isn't unusual in the romantic genre. Another example could be the music that is used to support the romantic atmosphere. We have chosen this scene to do a close reading of. The reason behind choosing this scene is that it represents the central theories and concepts regarding romance, and it represents their relationship as well. In this scene, it's summer and they're at the beach, which was characteristic or at least not unusual for romance stories. It shows the typical monogamy boy and girl relationship, and it pictures their developed romance up until this point. Despite of their different social classes, they love each other and they want to be together.
Don't do it.
Say I'm a bird.
Stop it. Stop it now. You're a bird.
Now say you're a bird too.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
When Noah says, if you're a bird, I'm a bird, it could picture that he would be whatever Allie wants him to be, because that's how strong their love is. The music in this scene underlines their love and passion that they feel towards each other, and furthermore, this is an important scene when it comes to understanding their relationship. Despite overcoming different obstacles such as disapproving parents, distance, war, and Alzheimer's, they finally get each other in death. And it shows a scene of a lot of birds flying, which could be assumed that Allie was right when she said that they would be reincarnated as birds and finally being free together in the end, which she says in our chosen scene. And then it refers to the ending.